And in the end, love wins. Welcome to the Lips and Language podcast. My name is Cola, where we talk about life, love, and language. Remember to subscribe, like, and share. Let's get into today's topic. Hey, so I know we talk a lot about love on this channel, because if we understood how important love is and how deep love runs, then we would understand that love sometimes can feel like the center of everything. When you love yourself, you treat yourself better. When you love others, you treat others better. And when you love God, everything comes together. So we talk a lot about love, because the one thing that a lot of people are missing out of their lives is love. Whether a love for themselves because they're going down one path, having different mental anguish, different addictions, love for others, they've been betrayed, they've been rejected, they've been abandoned. Love is really, 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 really important. So this whole theme of identity, God, catfishing, if you haven't caught up, to summarize it, but y'all should watch the other episodes because it goes into a lot more depth. But to summarize it, I was in an 11-year catfish relationship on and off. And I recently found out she's still catfishing. And that was a hard pill to swallow, but it opened up the door, the conversation for me to really think on love and what that means, identity, how do these two things relate, love and identity, right? But if you don't love the person that you are, you're seeking, you're craving something different. You're seeking and craving to be in another space, in another body, in another community, and you're not truly satisfied with who God created you to be. Now, the thing that God has been really showing me about love is that, unfortunately, for many people, they have gotten the raw deal when it comes to love. They haven't really gotten the true, authentic, unapologetic, unconditional love that God has. They have been manipulated into love. They have been forced into love. But for God, love is always a choice. And so whenever you hear me talking about God, whenever you hear me talking about my relationship with God, never think that I'm telling you this because I'm like, this is the way it has to be. You have a choice in what you want to take. Like, if you hear what I'm saying, if you love what I'm saying, if it resonates with you, and you're like, I need this piece, I need all these other things that, like, I'm inspired by your journey with, then yeah, choose God. But if everything I'm saying, nothing resonates, nothing makes sense, and you don't want to walk this path, then don't choose God. There really is, like, you have a choice. That's the main thing that God was like pushing upon me. Everyone has a choice. You can choose which path you want to walk on. And really, it's up to you. Really, it comes down to what makes you comfortable, what gives you the most peace. I ask people all the time, like, whatever brings you peace, take that route. You know what I'm saying? God brings me peace. I know why I believe in Jesus. I know why I walk this path. I know all the things that He's shown me. Even Jesus Himself, when He walked on this earth, He didn't say, this is the only thing you need to do. He was saying, this is the way. Walk in it. Choose this path. But for those who didn't want to listen, for those who said it didn't resonate, for those who didn't want to believe in what He was showing, that's their right to. That's their right. Too many people have been forced into loving somebody before they really get to know their characteristics and their traits. For example, our parents often, because they gave life to us, they and this is, it doesn't matter what culture you're from, parents alike are like this. They're like, I gave you life, you should respect me. Now the Bible does say, honor thy father and thy mother, so it is definitely a commandment, is definitely something that's important. Hear what I'm saying? Honoring your parents is definitely important, but some of them act like you should love them no matter what they do, love them no matter how they talk to you, how they treat you. Like, they come with this force of like, you need to do this because I did this for you. And the difference in that is that it teaches you a conditional love instead of an unconditional love. And Did you know that ignoring your self awareness will keep you stuck and emotionally imprisoned? Man, we go through life with this hustle mentality, going, never taking a moment to stop, to breathe, until life kind of just spirals out of control. But it is time to take control. It is time to experience the freedom of your most authentic self. And I have a gift for you. I have witnessed the tears, the happiness, the joy, the transformation when I have done this workshop in jail, in colleges, in high schools, and I want to offer this to you. So, click the link below, get access to the free mini course. There's 4 videos. You are going to enjoy it, and let's get to the other side of healing because you deserve to show up authentically as you. So when I'm having this conversation with God, he's like, a lot of people, they have a skewed view of what love is. They don't really understand my type of love, the type of love that I have to offer them, that no matter how far they go, no matter what identity they take, no matter how they really feel like gross or disgusted in their skin, depending on sex, depending on addictions, depending on so many different things, I still love them. I'm still here for them. That is what God speaks. He's like, I'm still going to care for them because those I created them. Those are my beings, right? And we've run into a lot of people since yay high, since young. We've run into a lot of people who love us to a point. They love us as long as we're good. They love us as long as we're doing what they like. They love us as long as we are moving in a way that is acceptable to them. Look at society. Society will love you or hate you depending on which way you sway. Are you swaying with what they say is trendy, or are you against the grain? When you're against the grain, they're like, well, we don't have love for you. We don't have love for that kind of stuff. And what's sad is that they really don't understand that a loving God is a beautiful experience where you get to be yourself. You get to be who he's called you to be. You get to figure out things about yourself that you didn't know. Like, okay, I'm really good at creative stuff, right? But I also have a business side of me. I'm not stuck to one side. I don't only have to be business and not creative, and I don't only have to be creative and not business. I'm allowed to do different things because I'm multifaceted. God has given me different skills and different abilities. And he's like, go ahead, explore all the gifts that I've given you, explore all the things that are available to you, and figure out what works. Figure out what is going to be good for you. Figure out what is going to drive you forward, what's going to put you on the path of purpose, what's going to bring you into a space where you can happily share this journey that you're on with other people and inspire them to do the same. There's so many people who are walking this world miserable because they weren't given a choice to be them. They were forced into whatever it is that it needs to, whatever it is that they see, whatever it is that their parents say, society says, whatever it is, they're not given the opportunity to try something different, to try it for themselves. And a lot of the times, like, our parents would be like, well, parents, guardians, friends, they're like, I wanted to protect you from what could hurt you. And yes, although that sounds good, people have to go through situations, they have to go through trials, they have to go through afflictions to figure out what works. You know, one of the greatest things about God is, one of the greatest things is God loves us so much, he'll allow us to go through certain situations, certain troubles, certain things that, like, people will say, yo, that's disastrous. He'll allow us to walk through it so that we can see how strong we really are. We can see that we're unbreakable. We can see that, oh, that thing didn't break me. Actually, it made me stronger. Oh, I know that I can apply this skill in that situation. You don't know how you handle storms until a storm comes. You might think you're a very patient person, and then something happens and you're screaming at the top of your lungs, and you're like, whoa, I didn't even know I was like that. The beauty of God is that he allows us to grow and to develop into who he's called us to be, but who we are authentically. And I think that's the thing. Too many times we're molding or trying to fit into this mold of everyone else. And it breaks the bond of love and respect that we have for ourselves. There's a lot of people out there who are doing things that they just don't even respect. Morally, they don't respect it, but they're like, oh, this is what I got to do to get ahead. How does that bring any type of joy? How does that bring any type of peace to their mind when all they're doing is fitting in the mold of other people to bring them where they need to be? It doesn't. So this conversation about love, love wins. Love wins. And I know whenever you see love wins, that's typically somebody like the pride community of taking it to be like, you can love whoever you want. You can listen, you can love whoever you want. Go right ahead. Go right ahead. But what I know for a fact is there's a lot of people who are living a certain lifestyle that doesn't fit who they are authentically. And I'm not just talking about pride. I'm talking about so many different communities. So many you're living for another person. You're doing your career for another person. You're raising kids for another person. Even your own kids. People have kids who don't even really want to have kids, but they're like, okay, well, it is what it is. Maybe the love will come, but they don't take the time to work on themselves to develop those skills, to bring things into them. The thing we have to understand is when it comes to love, right? Because it is a choice, because it is ah because we are walking through this thing, and we want to respect different people. Because love is a choice, it means that we get to choose how we're going to how we're going to walk with certain people, how we're going to move with certain people. For example, let's say you had a parent growing up who just was not the kindest to you, right? And so you're just like, well, bump that. I want nothing to do with them. I'm not in their lives, whatever. You can choose to still honor your parents and respect your parents, and through that, that is your loving action. You know what I'm trying to say? Like you can still choose to have conversations, to show up, to pray for them. And those are still loving actions. Love doesn't only look one way. We're so caught up in love being this gushy emotion that has to happen in this one particular way that we miss that love is acts of service, love is quality time, love is a language, love is gift giving. That's why they have this whole the love language test. Like love is when you trust somebody. Like there's so many different ways that you can show love, and love is in words. And a lot of the times we only see love in one specific way, in one specific perspective, and that's typically the type of love that we've gotten as we were children, or we've gotten on our journey through love. And that's the type of love that we expect from people, and we don't ever stop to think like, what if this person is loving me in this different way? I'll say this. I have this relationship with somebody, and I was like getting upset because I'm like the communication style wasn't matching how I wanted it per se, right? But when I'm going through text message, when I'm looking back a lot of things, I'm like, oh, they were loving me in the way that they knew how to love me. Now, there's a difference because as we join, as I make myself more clear, more vocal on how I also want to be loved, or this is how I also receive love, it'll be their decision to choose if they're only going to continue to love me in the way that they want to, or if they begin to say, you know what, let me do the sacrifice. Let me sacrificially try to love this person in a way that they also receive, right? The beautiful thing about sacrificial love is that it's selfless. You are doing something that is beyond not your capability, but beyond what you would typically do, your boundaries. And you're like, I love this person so much, I'm gonna try this for them. Like God loved the world, the people, us so much that he allowed his son to come down sacrificially. And I know that's a thing that is really challenging for some people to believe, but just think for a second of the thing that you love the at most in the world, the thing that you love the most. Like you truly can't, like you truly need to have this thing in your life. And then think about what happens if that thing got threatened. If somebody tried to threaten that thing or that person, or whatever it is. If you had to give an ultimatum, either you continue loving this person and holding this person or this thing all to yourself, or you allow it to be like you sacrifice it right? Like what do you choose? And when it comes to sacrificing, a lot of us would choose ourselves before when we really, really, really love somebody. A lot of us would say, yo, take me instead of that. Take me instead of this. Take me instead of that. And that's the sacrificial love of God. Like, that's the thing that people can't really fully understand. But you think about the thing that you love the most and how much you would sacrifice for that thing, how much you would give up for that one thing, for peace, for joy, for whatever it is, how much you would give up. And now take that and multiply it by like 10 million. And that's how much God loves us. That's how much God is. He wants to pour out his love on us. He wants to correct the wrongs of what people did. Like when people were sneaking in bedrooms and the perversion, all that, that wasn't God's love. And though he saw it, because people be like, where was God? Though he saw it, it's not like he just saw it and stood by like it hurt him too. It hurt him too to go through it. But the thing is that people forget it's people are people. It's people who make choices to act cruelly, to rob, to murder, to steal. It's people who make these choices to love badly. It's people. And the thing is, if we learn how to notice and identify the birthing of good fruits in people, when people are really showing us the love, the joy, the patience, the peace, the kindness, the goodness, the gentleness, the faithfulness, when people really start to show us these qualities instead of the other ones, the lying, the cheating, the the disagreements, the pettiness, if we look and weigh the cost of the different fruits, we'll see, okay, you know what? This one, I can put some time into loving this one. This one, I need to put less time into loving, not because they're not deserving of love, but because if loving the bad things are going to continue to produce bad things, then we're only going to get hurt in the end. Like if you continue to enable somebody's bad behaviors, it doesn't just get better unless they're self-aware that it needs to change and that's them changing, right? Like you have to be mindful of where you're at and what you're willing to accept and what you're willing to receive. This whole conversation of love is really important because love really molds us into the people we are. Believe it or not, if you've had a lot of love, you'll give a lot of love. If you haven't had a lot of love, you'll either hold on when you do get it, or you'll fight because you don't know how to receive it. And so in understanding who we are as people and understanding how to be in life, where to go, how to go forward, how to move, we have to understand that at the foundation of everything is love. If you love God, the one who created us, your choice, not by force. If you love God with all your heart, mind, there is a peace that comes, there's a joy that comes, there is a sustainability. There's so many good things that comes from loving God. Then when you love yourself and you love your neighbors, there's also good things that come from that. But these are all foundational things. These are before you even get to the other levels of love and walking through relationships and things with people. Is that too many people don't understand that the love that God has is so freeing. A lot of people think that Christianity has so many rules, and like one of the biggest things is about love. Yes, there are some rules, but one of the biggest things is about love. One of the biggest misunderstandings is love. People misunderstanding how God loves them. People don't understand that the unconditional love means, hey, because I love you, sometimes I'm going to have to tell you that this was wrong. You did this poorly. You could do better. And it's not a judgment. It's not just a criticism. It's expecting you to look inside yourself and say, you know what, I could do better. And you grow with it. You don't allow it to take you down, but you take it and you say, I'm going to improve upon this. I'm not going to allow this to destroy me, but I'm going to allow this to build me up. And I'm going to continue growing and seeking and searching and evolving into becoming just a better human being so that I can be better to myself and I can be better to other people. And you see those people who say they love themselves so much, but they're workaholics. How much can you love yourself when you work yourself to the bone? when you don't take time to rest, when you don't take time to care about your most basic needs, which is rest and sleep and um, taking breaks and making sure that self-care is a priority. When we love people with the wrong reasons, with the wrong heart, with the wrong intent, the only thing we're going to get back is those same wrong reasons and intent. Is not going to end well for us. But when we love with a pure heart, when we move in truth, when we move in purity, when we move in the freedom that God has given us, it unlocks so much more, like levels of love, levels of blessing, levels of understanding that life isn't only one way, that there's different paths, but those paths are the paths that we've chosen to be on. Those paths are the paths that um, we've chosen to walk through. That has been nothing that has been forced upon us, but it's been a decision that we made. Where we are right now in life are a lot of the decisions that we've made. Even if trauma and things have happened to us, we still had to make a decision. Are we going to allow it to tear us down, or are we going to allow it to push us forward? It's all decisions. Do we love ourselves enough to keep fighting? Do we love ourselves enough to get to the bottom of something? Or do we just want to go with what we think feels right? It's not always about feeling. Feelings are so misleading. They put us in so many different directions. The highs, the lows, the ins, the outs. Like, it's better if we're grounded in something as foundational as unconditional love and the love of a father. We all love, want acceptance, whether you reject it because you've been so hurt or you crave it because you want to be accepted. Like, there's a part of us who wants to be connected to other people, who wants to be folded and grounded in love. And that part is just as important as everything else. When we start from a place of love, then we know that, okay, I am loved. I move in love. I give love. I receive love. And I'm choosing to walk this way in love. I'm choosing to respect people and love them in my actions, love them with my words, love them with the things that have been placed inside of me or that I've had to learn myself and grow over time. We then start to love our identity, love who we've been created to be. And we stop focusing on who we think we need to be in order to please other people. We start to strip away the labels and the things that they placed upon us, and we start running after the things that truly make us happy. So in the end, love wins. Whether it's the love of God or the love of self, the path is clear. And we only have ourselves to thank when we get to the end. There's coming a time when love is about to expose a whole lot of people. They'll either learn how much they love themselves or how much they truly were not grounded in love. I, for one, would like to be on the side of loving myself. As uniquely, as raw, as bold as I am, I would like to be on the side of loving myself. So, take inventory of love, where you're at with it. Do you need to go a little deeper? Did you grow up in a loving family, or is there work to get done? There's no shame in doing work on love. It is vital that we look at it and we don't just brush it aside, but we make it a priority to learn it if we haven't, to give it if we don't, and to receive it if we don't know how. So that's all for today. July is a new month, new topics coming, but y'all know what I'm about to say. Hit the outro on the way out. If you want to get into some work on love, baby, that's all I do. So hit the outro. Don't miss it because you're going to want to hear it, and we'll talk soon. What would it look like if we were a people that were healed? What would it look like if we were people that believed in doing the work necessary to remove trauma, to get through grief, and to come out on the other side? Man, we think that therapy is the only way. Therapy is a great way, but there's also a creative way that can help us get through this process. My name is Kola. I am an amazing artist, and I have a program called Restore and Embrace Myself. It is all about the healing and the getting through and the getting over. And if nobody told you, you are special and you are so deserving of so much more in this world. So get in contact with me because I'd love to work with you.